Hey YouTube, what is good? So in this week's video, I'm gonna be showing you the difference between a lantern and a parabolic softbox. That means the one gives us light 360 degrees and the other one gives us a focus light of beam. But never worked with the lantern, so let's give it a go. I'm more interested in this case for video capabilities, but as we all know, it's not scripted. So I'm gonna be recording this one as we go. I'm just gonna do me, like I always do, and then we'll see where we come up with. So first things first. So first things first, I'm gonna install the lantern on the Nanlite FS300B. If you remember correctly, we did an unboxing and a review a few weeks ago. I will tag it like up here or the other side, and then you can go and watch it if you want at the end of this video. So let me set this up. I'm gonna keep recording and then I'm probably gonna speed it up because yeah, it takes a little bit of time to set it up. So let's go. So now for the lantern we have this thingy, which is like a big thingy. It is one from Zion. It's the Zion lantern, as we mentioned. So when you take it out of the box, it looks like this. You will go like, what is that? Well, this part, let me show you closer. This part, this one, goes to this part at the bottom. So you put the fabric over it and then you just like push it down like this and you just connect it like this so that you have something like this. But you do it with the fabric over it because now it's impossible to get the fabric over it. Reconstructing it is like pushing down, lifting up, done. This is the 1 meter if I remember correctly, so let's give it a go. So this is like the fabric and you just put the metal part inside of this. It will be hard to do with the mic in my hand, but hey, let's give it a go. Let's attach some Velcro. And so this is the actual lantern. So as you can see, it's just like, yeah, it's like this. Then you hang it normally like this, or you do it like that, and it gives like a nice 360 degrees light. Now I'm gonna attach this one to the Nanlite. Again, with a mic in the hand, it's not easy. Of course, the important thing is the power supply. There we go. Then we need to search for a power socket. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for. If we switch it on, it will be probably too bright. There we go. So as you can see, it creates a lot of light. It is at 100% now, so I'm gonna dim it a lot more. Also, I'm gonna be switching off my light for the video, which is the Godox SL60. So I'm gonna switch that one off so that the only light we have now is the lantern. So I'm gonna dim it a bit. I'm also gonna be putting it in front of me instead of like behind me. So let's see how the quality of light changes. So now it's in front of me, but I need to put it a little bit higher. And there you have it, it's up and running. Let me go like somewhere around here should be my spot. So if I'm here, I'm still having like the lantern lining up my entire face. You can still see like this side still has some clarity in it. It's not like shade. Again, this is a 45-degree angle. You can also attach it like to the ceiling, and then you have like a lantern hanging in the middle, which illuminates the entire set. So now it is out of frame. Like if I go pretty close to it, you can see like everything still catches light. If I switch this one off, you can see that we are living in the dark. The only light that's coming in now is from the windows in the studio, so that's daylight, which is like pretty non-existent. So I'm gonna switch this one back on and I'm gonna feather it a little bit. So as you can tell now, I'm totally perfectly lit. Like if I'm here doing a talking head, I know it's not a completely nice scene, but you get the idea. The lantern gives us a nice light. Most of the time this light is used for interviews, or when you're doing like a dark spot, you can illuminate the entire scene by just hanging this up pretty high on a boom stand, or just like it is now, which is like aiming straight at the wall. So yeah, now I'm gonna be changing to the Octa. Probably the Octa 1 meter, because this one is also 1 meter. So let's change to the Octa. While breaking things down, I came to the idea like, hey, let's put it like this, so it comes a little bit more from above. As you can see now, it's going pretty. Voila. That's the light we wanted. So now you can actually see it's like completely evenly lit. The entire studio is lit, which is totally fine. But like, it gives a lot of light, even though the NAND light is still on like 20%, which is not a lot. So now let's take the Octa. This is the Octa with the diffuser in my hand. So I'm gonna attach this one now to the same light and see what the difference might be in light. Keep in mind, keep an eye out for the background. So the Octa is attached. I didn't change any power settings, so now I still have to put like this thing on it. Now this is a deep Octa, meaning it will give us a little bit more contrast. Not like a little bit, it will give us more contrast because the light has to travel further down before it actually comes out. So now this is the Octa 1 meter from Elinchrom, and as we did before, I'm gonna move it a little bit like so. It's also just easier to put it next to the camera without it being in frame. Now I'm gonna lower the intensity. So here we go. So this is the Octabox. I'm not sure if there is actually any difference at this stage, because when I'm looking at my little monitor, I can see that like there's no difference at all. It still gives light on the background. Now we're using continuous light, so keeping that in mind, we have this one, which means light goes also to the back. Now if I would turn the camera, you can see that there's no light hitting my desk or anything. It's just like dark. With this, like the name says, it has like 360 degrees light coming out of it. The video is all over the place, I know, but yeah, so this lighting scenes in all directions, yes. Having a focus beam of light, Octabox or something smaller, like now I got the 1 meter. If I lower it to the 60 centimeter Octa from Elinchrom, you will see a difference. Now on the lantern I cannot attach a grid. On the Octa I can attach a grid, so that's what I'm gonna be doing now. But keep in mind the footage will become pretty moody, so let's give that a go. So this is the grid we attach to the Octa. So now we have the grid attached. It's still aiming at the ground, so I'm gonna lift it up a little bit, but you can immediately tell, like this side, I know it's mirror, this side has a lot more contrast going on. Because the grid is attached, the light is more focused, which is a good thing sometimes. Like now I'm in front of the Octa, that's why I'm looking weird. Like this would be my perfect spot. Like when I zoom in, I'm already zoomed in. So like this should be more my kind of style for lighting this, because it's a lot more moody, a lot more contrast. With the grid, you can see that you have a lot more contrast going on in my face. With the lantern, yeah, there's a difference. Like it's lit all over the place. Now for the lantern we have, how do we call it? Flags we can attach to this so that we can hang them on this side so that they hang down and the light doesn't go in that direction. That's something pretty cool. I haven't tested it yet. So let's say I want the same effect as the Octa. I can attach it to this one so that I limit the light coming out of this. Now, sometimes it's useful if you just want the light to go like straight down and not to your subjects in the video. But yeah, that's about it. So the difference between the Octa and the lantern is not that much if you have the same size. The only difference with the lantern is you can light the entire scene. With the Octa you have a more focused beam, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I'm not sure how long I've been rambling now, but I'm gonna stop recording this one. I know it was all over the place, but that's not always a bad thing, I suppose, because this is the way I normally roll. So we have the Octa, lantern. Lantern is not so expensive. I thought it was like 90 euros, so that's still cheap. But I've bought it more for, how do we say it, more for video recordings instead of photo shoots, because photo shoots I still prefer strobes. No idea why, but I still prefer them. Now, workshops and yeah, people who just want to start out, continuous light is easier because you can actually see the image on your camera. On the other hand, strobes for me is still a nicer vibe, but even with the modifiers I have, I can attach them to the continuous light so I can recreate it. So yeah, it's totally up to you. Now the lantern, as I mentioned, I will be using it next week on a job. Curious about how that will evolve, but hey, let's see how it goes, and then I'll see you when I see you. Ciao, ciao.